Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Elmer and I hope that you're all having a wonderful day. You've had a wonderful week. You're all excited for the final games of the season to see which team is going to win, which teams are going for the top four, and also the relegation battle, which is also heating up, and as well as FPL, many people closing in on their mini leagues, trying to win, trying to catch up to the number one pot, trying to get your best ever finish in the in FPL, and hope you're all excited for that, for the thrilling end of the season. And so today I'm going to be talking about the transfer tips from now until the end of the season, the transfers which might help you gain some ranks in your leagues that I've just mentioned. Just some tips for those who using their wild cards, those who have free hits, and this video will be able to help you in that. And I hope that you will enjoy and get some advice and tips here and there. So I'm going to start off with the teams which I've been looking at and who have the most fixtures, mostly 5 fixtures, which is really good for getting some points and some differentials also in there, since not many people will own them for this game week especially. So first here we have Aston Villa, who have 5 fixtures before the end of the season. They're not really difficult fixtures apart from Liverpool and Man City, but the rest, Burnley, Crystal Palace, and Burnley again, which I think are easy points for them. And let's not forget that Aston Villa are also in that mix of the relegation battle. They're not yet safe, so I think they'll need to bring out convincing wins against the likes of Burnley and Crystal Palace. So we hope that they can be able to do that. And these are the main 3 players who have been looking at. We have Cash in defense, but we can also argue for Luka Dean, although he's been injury prone since he moved to Aston Villa. That's why I've gone for Cash. Mings is prone to an odd yellow card here and there, and I think Cash is just the best option. Then continue in the midfield, who is on free kicks. Sometimes he takes the corners, and I think he's the point of control for the team. I know he's not been performing well in the previous game weeks, but if Aston Villa have to get some wins, I think he's the main focal point for them, and I hope that he can be able to perform and show us what he can really do. And then here we have Watkins in striking. He scored in the previous match, and I hope that that will be able to give him some form and give him some more encouragement that he can be able to score goals before the end of the season. And I think he's also vital in what Aston Villa are doing so that they can be able to stay safe from that drop that they have. And I think these are the main 3 players I'll be looking at if there's anyone who is eyeing any Aston Villa players. And next we have Everton there, who are also in the relegation battle, but they managed to secure very vital points against Chelsea. So they'll be looking to try and continue with that form and pick up maximum points so that they make sure that they're not relegated. And since they have one game in hand over likes of Leeds and Burnley, I think they'll need to win like 4 games, and I think the fixtures are not really difficult uh, until the end of the season, apart from maybe Leicester and Arsenal, which really look difficult. So that's why in there I have Pickford, who looked really good against Chelsea and has been a very good shot stopper, and I think that he'll be vital in trying to keep Everton in the league with his saves and also his distribution, sometimes getting those assists and things like that. Then you have Gordon, who has also been very good, and Frank Lampard has been playing really well, played every match. He should have scored a goal in the previous match, but he did not have control of the ball well and did not manage to shoot well. But I think he's a very good option, and for his price, 4.6 million in the midfield with those fixtures, I think it's a really good differential as well. So I think I'll also be looking at him. You can also make a shout for someone like Demarai Gray, who has also been playing really well, and also Iwobi, who's also been looking really sharp in the midfield for Everton. Those are the people I might be looking at. But yeah, now I'm leaning towards Gordon just because of his price. Then you have Richarlison in there at striking. With Calvert-Lewin now being dropped, I think Richarlison is the most vital player in Everton at the moment. So I think they need him to show up, score a lot of goals, and so that they can be able to keep up in the Premier League. And I think that he'll be able to manage that. Just a slight concern with Richarlison that he might be getting a ban, so that's something to look at. But I think these are the three main Everton players I'll be looking at if I was trying to bring any of them in. And then the other team that I'll be looking at, maybe the final team, is Leicester. They've just been knocked out of Europa, so maybe the rotation will not be as much as it was previously. So they have the easiest fixtures on paper out of all the three teams, Aston Villa and Everton, for the double game weeks, in game 36 and in game 36. So they have Everton and Norwich. Everton sometimes can be shaky in defense, and Norwich they're already out, so maybe they're already gone on holiday. And I think Leicester will be able to capitalize on that, since now they have to try and fight to maybe get to number 7 or somewhere there, or get a respectable place in the table, and try to salvage a really poor season from them. So someone like Schmeichel, who is not heavily rotated, in fact he has played all the matches this season, and I think he'll still continue playing. So that's one person to look at. Then you have Madison in there, who doesn't play a lot, gets rotated a lot, but I just mentioned they're out of the Conference League, so maybe now they can just focus on the league. They can continue playing each and every match like they used to before. And then you have Vardy, who just come back from injury, who's also looked very good since he came, and I think Leicester missed him a lot, and now that he's back, he'll be able to bang in those goals, and Madison providing the assist. I think Leicester are going to be really good, and with these three players, I think they're the best players to bring in. We're looking at Leicester players. They're not defenders here because they have a lot of defenders who are always rotated in and out, and I think Schmeichel will cover that defense really well because he's never rotated. And I think these are the three main Leicester players I'll be looking at if I was bringing in any Leicester players. So now that we have done with the specific teams that I've been looking at, we can look at some of the goalkeeping options. I know not a lot of many FPL managers usually make transfers with goalkeepers, but there comes that time where you're trying to catch open mini leagues and you're looking at some differentials here and there, trying to get points from each and every position and not leaving any position untouched. So first, the goalkeeper we have Guaita from Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace have easy fixtures on paper. They've been really good defensively of late under Vieira, who has really transformed their play from defense to forward. And I think the main success of this season for them has been their defending. They've been able to keep a lot of clean sheets, and Guaita being in goal has also been able to produce massive saves. So I think he's a really good option until the end of the season. And also for his price, 4.6 million, really cheap. You can just bench him. You can use him to free up some funds. And then you have Ederson. If you're looking to go big, you can go for Ederson. Man City have nothing to play for now, just the league. Try and win the league, win as much games as possible. That means they can be able to keep a lot of clean sheets. And also the race for the Golden Glove between Ederson and Alisson is also there. So Ederson will be trying his very best to be keeping those clean sheets so that he can be able to win that over Alisson. And also they have easy fixtures, and I think they can be able to keep clean sheets in almost all of them. Then you have Ramsdale from Arsenal. I think he's also a very good shot stopper, gets a lot of save points, and I think he's also very good at the moment. So I think he's also a very decent option for your teams, and also the amount of fixtures they have before the end of the season. also fighting for top 4, means that they need their keeper to be on top form. So I think it's also a very decent option. And then next we can go to the defenders, where we have Van Dijk here for 6.8 million. I think he's the most nailed on Liverpool defender, because I think he's the most vital part of their play in the defense especially. So I think he is not easily rotated, and I think he's a very good pickup as well for 6.8 million. They have a lot of fixtures, 4 fixtures before the end of the game week, and they have to keep pressure on Man City. So I think they have to be at their best. They've already qualified for the Champions League, so now they can just focus on the Premier League and try and keep pressure on Man City. And I think he's going to be vital in that at the moment. And then there we have Nuno Tavares from Arsenal with Tierney picking up an injury, which means he's out for the rest of the season. Tavares has been playing. He's been playing really well of late, and I think he's a very good option, especially for his price, 4.3 million, and also the amount of fixtures Arsenal have and what they're trying to achieve before the end of the season. They need their defenders to be at their best, and I think Tavares is also trying to reach the level of Tierney at the moment and trying to produce his best, and I think it's a very good option to have in there. Then I've gone for Veltman, mainly just because of his price, 4.2 million. They don't have the easiest fixtures, but you can see they've been trying to keep clean sheets. They did keep a clean sheet against Arsenal and Tottenham, who are very known to score a lot of goals. So I think it's also a very decent option. If we're looking at prices, you can also go for Simikas and just get the fifth centre back spot with Simikas in there and just boost other places. But the reason I've gone for Veltman is in case someone in your team doesn't play, at least he can be able to come in and help you in that spot which is missing a person. And I think it's a very good option to also have in there. Then next we can go to the midfielders. So here we have Bowen. They've also been eliminated from the Europa League, so now there will be no much rotation in the squad. So I think Bowen will be pretty nailed on for almost all matches now. And I think they're still, since they've been knocked out of the Europa League, they'll be fighting with United for that sixth spot. We need to keep pressure on them so that next season they are in the Europa League rather than the Conference League. So I think it's they're still going to fight for it, and their fixtures are not that bad with Norwich and Man City and Brighton. Especially Norwich and Brighton, Man City might be a little bit tricky, but you never know. But with that, especially that Norwich game, they can be able to perform and relieve the emotions of the exit out of the Europa League in that match. And I think Bowen is a very good option, especially because now he's also a differential pick. I think he's a very good option. Then here we have Kevin De Bruyne, eliminated from the Champions League, which was really disappointing for them, and I hope they can be able to bounce back against Newcastle. Kevin De Bruyne did not have a very good game at Real Madrid, so maybe he'll be looking to try and change things against Newcastle and try to show what he can still do on the pitch. He's a very good player, and I hope that he can be able to produce. He's also a very good differential. You could captain him for this week against Newcastle and Wolves, and I'm sure you're going to get a lot of points, which are going to boost your ranks. Then someone else we have here is Wilfred Zaha, who's also a very big differential, 6.8 million. Scored, I think, 5 goals in his last 6 games, which is really good. He's gone under the radar this season, and if you own him, fair enough. I think he's a very good player to have. I've been eyeing him, but I've not been able to fit him into the team for now. But I think he's a very good option to have, especially now they play Watford next at home, and Watford are really poor at their own place. So I'm sure he's going to be able to capitalize on that, and I think he's a very good option as well. And then now we can go to the final part of the video where we have the forward options. So here we have Werner, who has been in abundance of form of late, and I think is a very good option, especially because they have easy fixtures. They have nothing to play for. I think third spot is very much secured, so you can just go out there and have fun, score a lot of goals and get a lot of assists. And I think Werner will be trying to do the same, play well, get a lot of goals, and just do the basics. And I think he'll be able to score a lot of points for FPL. Then here we have Jesus, who has been on a very good form, scoring 5 goals in his last 2 matches, which is really good for someone who was not scoring a lot of goals initially. And now he looks like a very good FPL asset, playing Newcastle Wolves next, which are not, they're good defensively, but I think Man City can be able to dominate and score goals against them. And I think Jesus will be able to score a lot of points if he manages to score in both games. And then finally we have Nketiah there from Arsenal, who has been playing since Lacazette has been benched of late. And Nketiah has been looking good. I don't think he's scored a goal yet, but he's been having some great chances, holding up the ball really well, getting players in the game, producing nice passes, which are not bringing assists. But I'm sure in these 4 games, one of them is going to bring an assist and is going to score like 3 or 4 goals. And I'm not sure he's going to be able to perform and show Arsenal that they don't have to buy a new striker, that they can count on him for the seasons to come. And I think with that, that is the end of the video. I hope that you have enjoyed. We've gotten some tips and advice here and there that can be able to boost your teams and improve on your rankings and your positions in the mini leagues that you are trying to get top spot. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. And with that, I'd like to say bye bye.